And the grades of these things in Nevada typically is not much over a gram. This map is just a long shot in to show the area that we're starting to do work for our new plan of operation. North that way, so it'd be something like this. And each one of these little green boxes is a claim, so it's 600 by 1500 feet. That gives you some idea of the scale. Little blue dots you can hardly see on here are holes that Bonaventure has drilled over the last 3 drill seasons. And the blue line is where we're doing a plan of operation. It includes an area where we could do test leaching. This is a pretty big deal. Yeah. It's a pretty large area. And more importantly, it'll let us greatly expand the area we can drill in, because right now we've reached our limit.
Where's our position right now, where the truck is at this point?
Where are we right now? Or where's
the truck right now? Where we're located?
Okay, let's wait till we get to this this map.
Okay.
We're zooming in, so we're moving down another level, and this is that boundary we just showed you. Again, north is the top of the page. The blue on here are either roads or drill holes that Bonaventure has done. The red are the ones I'm permitting as the very first phase of the plan of operation. You can see what I want to do is not only fill in some very large holes we've got, but try to expand this thing to the north. We came up this road, and you saw where the 2 roads split. You can see that other road over there. Yeah. That's right back here. Okay. So we've just come up. We've almost reached this proposed site, and just a little bit higher on the hill is where we have drilled 701, the discovery hole for this new area of mineralization that's north and west of the main resource. Is up the road about 200 yards. That will zero in a little bit more, and we're on this map. And we haven't got it quite turned the right way, but on this one, you want to do that? Like that. We don't really need this part down here. Okay, so again, we're right down here. And what we'll do is we'll go up and look at the drill rig and some of the sites where we've already drilled. But before we do that, I'll show you some sections. The stratigraphy, the rocks here.
So tops is obviously this way, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Gravel.
Yeah.
And then there's a rhyolite tuff unit, varying. Sometimes it's 0, sometimes it's 200 feet thick, something like maximum. And then where everything starts happening is at the base of that. Here they had a massive calcite vein within the volcanic unit, which is unusual. There are a couple of places on the north end here where there's some significant gold in the volcanic, but we have found that it's always pretty weak. There's a bunch of guys walking around down there. I wonder if that's our archaeologist. See him? Just up.
Right. Well, there's a vehicle parked down there that we passed, right?
Oh, interesting. Anyway, sorry, got off track. That'd be great if that was our archaeologist at work. But anyway, at the base of the tuff, we go into this very altered area. It's very hard to recognize in chips. He calls it a fault gouge, but I would guess it's more like an erosional surface. Clay, you're just getting a soil, whatever. And that zone would act as an aquiclude, any fluids coming up. So you get a feeder structure, it gets into these limes at that contact and spreads out. That's gold in ppm, that's silver in ppm. First thing you notice is we have very high silver to gold ratios. Silver is a very important part of this. And this is 701. This is the discovery hole for this other area. And you see what happens as we go down. See, we just get no recovery. That's no recovery, no recovery. And we had a few chips in there, so there were a couple of samples. But we've got so much water that we can't drill this, basically, an RC rig. So we're going to go back and hit it with
How
core
is this lithology, when you recognize it, how does it compare with some of the more classic Carlin lithologies?
It'd be very similar to one like Gold Bar. I don't know if you're familiar with that one. Tonkin Springs, these things where the jasperoid was right there and they went over to the jasperoid, and that's basically one horizon at the top of the lime that's running. And there's 4 or 5 of these in the state that are in production. These are, they're viable as long as the stuff on top is not so thick you can't afford to take it off to get to the goodies, and it has to be oxidized. One of the things we're doing now, anything over a ppm, we're running cyanide digestion on. And from that, we'll get some metallurgical samples, and the next step is to do a column leach test and see what the viability is, how long, the leach pads they build nowadays are huge, and they just leave them on for years. The old days, we'd leach for 30 days or 60 days and then strip it off and put some more on. They don't do that anymore.
They just leave it.
Primarily, they just leave it and add more on the top.